Dangerous storms moving in tonight, multiple states. At least 30 tornadoes already. At least 2 EF3 tornadoes touching down, winds between 150 and 160 miles per hour. Families taking shelter underground. The home explosion tonight turning deadly, the massive inferno. A woman inside the home killed, a man blown right into the front yard. He survives it. There is news coming in from Washington, D.C. at this hour, the stabbing spree in the nation's capital. Tonight, President Trump firing several members of the National Security Council following an Oval Office meeting with a far-right activist. Also breaking here tonight, what HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. told our reporter. He now acknowledges mistakes made amid the massive firings in his department. The parents charged after disturbing images, the brawl during a youth hockey game. Bruce Springsteen opening the vault. The Boss about to release 7 lost albums. At America Strong tonight, you have to see the remarkable images from the Philadelphia Zoo. She's a first-time mom at 97 years old.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. It is great to have you with us here at a Thursday night. We begin tonight with the U.S. stock markets in a free fall after President Trump's announcement of sweeping tariffs, the worst single-day losses in years since the beginning of the pandemic. Americans and their 401ks taking immediate hits, and families now bracing for higher prices from groceries to cars to appliances. The Dow falling nearly 1,700 points today alone, nearly 4%. The S&P 500 down nearly 5%. And the tech-heavy NASDAQ index falling nearly 6%, their worst day in 5 years. President Trump announcing a baseline 10% tariff on goods coming into the U.S., even steeper tariffs from many countries, including China, the EU, Japan, and South Korea. Late today, President Trump saying, quote, "I think it's going very well." In addition, overnight, a 25% tariff on all imported cars and auto parts kicked in. And tonight, the third largest U.S. automaker, Stellantis, the maker of Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep, now laying off 900 workers in Indiana and Michigan. Nike saw its stock fall more than 14% today. Apple stock falling more than 9%. And analysts say bringing back production to the U.S., even if just 10% of iPhones were made here, it would more than triple the cost of an iPhone. So how will this all work? How long will this pain last? And what President Trump said today about the economic pain already. ABC's chief business and economics correspondent Rebecca Jarvis leading us off tonight from Wall Street.
Tonight, U.S. stocks in free fall. President Trump sweeping new tariffs, sending stocks plummeting, leading to the market's worst day since the start of the pandemic 5 years ago. The Dow plunging nearly 1,700 points, or 4%. The S&P 500 down more than 4.8%. The tech-heavy NASDAQ down nearly 6%. Among the hardest hit, car makers, including U.S. companies Ford, Tesla, and General Motors. And already tonight, the president sweeping tariffs taking a toll on American jobs. The third largest automaker in the U.S., Stellantis, which makes Jeep, Chrysler, and Dodge, temporarily laying off 900 workers in Indiana and Michigan, as it pauses production in factories in Canada and Mexico after the president's new 25% tariff on foreign-made autos. And for Americans watching their 401ks shrink and bracing now for higher prices from groceries to cars, economists across the board arguing this is not a surprise with tariffs so steep.
The tariffs are a tax on imports, and that tax has to be borne by somebody, and history suggests that it's going to be the American consumer.
Other American companies seeing their stocks plunge too. Nike, which produces about half its shoes at factories in Vietnam, down 14.4%. Apple, which designs its iPhone in California, but relies on manufacturing in China, India, Vietnam, and Malaysia, down 9.2%. And even if Apple made just 10% of its phones back here in the U.S., analysts estimate the cost of an iPhone would surge from $1,000 to $3,500 because of the cost of labor here. Home building and furniture hurt too. Restoration hardware stocks sinking 40% as the president announced his tariffs. The CEO reacting in real time.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I just looked at the screen. I hadn't looked at it. It got hit when I think the tariffs came out.
And tonight on Wall Street, investors telling me the pain is far from over.
Living through a day like today, not knowing what the next few days are going to bring or the next quarter, That's where it gets a little troubling.
And David, we are just in day one, just 24 hours since the president's announcement. It's still unclear how countries will respond, how they'll react, whether they'll negotiate or retaliate. JP Morgan tonight saying that if these tariffs are sustained, it will likely plunge the U.S. and the world into recession. David?
Rebecca Jarvis leading us off tonight. Rebecca, thank you. The president late today leaving the White House amid the markets plunging, saying, I think it's going very well, signaling he will stay the course. Here's Mary Bruce.
Tonight, President Trump sounding unbothered by the plunge on Wall Street after his sweeping tariffs upended the world economy.
I think it's going very well. It was an operation, like when a patient gets operated on, and it's a big thing.
In the past, the president has acknowledged his tariffs could cause short-term pain to American consumers and businesses. But today, he only spoke of rosy times ahead.
The markets are going to boom, the stock is going to boom, the country is going to boom, and the rest of the world wants to see is there any way they can make a deal.
But watching the markets dive today, the president's own former Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin saying he hopes there can be a deal to lift some of these tariffs, acknowledging the reality that fulfilling Trump's pledge to return manufacturing to the U.S. will take years.
I'm hopeful that those will be negotiated down, that those are tariffs that will bring people to the table, and we'll negotiate them down. Now, for many businesses, it takes a while to move the manufacturing base.
Tonight on Air Force One, the president laying out a timetable.
Well, how long will it take to get American manufacturing to where you would like to see it?
Well, let's say it's a 2-year process. They can build them fast, but they're still very big plans. So I'd always say it would take a year and a half to 2 years.
But he did not explain what would happen to alleviate pain in the interim, or acknowledge that American businesses will likely pay more to build products here than overseas, costs that economists warn will be passed on to consumers. The president today not acknowledging the economic pain his tariffs may cause, and when pressed on this all day, White House officials reiterating the same message: have faith. Trust the president. David.
Mary Bruce at the White House. Mary, thank you. In the last 24 hours, the president did acknowledge he campaigned on groceries, but millions of families are now bracing for higher prices tonight. What we found at the grocery store, the appliance store, and at the auto lot. Matt Gutman on how this could affect so many of you at home.
Tonight, Americans are bracing after voters made it clear in November inflation and high prices were the top issue. Now, they're fearful prices are going to get worse, not better, on everything from cars to clothes, electronics to groceries. And like millions of Americans, Susan Linder is retired and on a fixed income.
We're terrified, really. And it makes no sense. I mean, look at the stock market today. It makes no sense that these tariffs have gone into effect.
Those tariffs will mean higher costs at the supermarket on produce not grown here and on coffee, chocolate, and other items.
Something else to look out for: seafood. The USDA says 80% of seafood consumed in the U.S. comes from high tariff countries, places like Vietnam, Indonesia, India, Canada, Chile. So that could rise.
Tonight, analysts say these new tariffs could cost an average American family of 4 up to $7,200 extra a year. It was just 24 hours ago, the president acknowledging he campaigned by talking about groceries.
It's such an old-fashioned term, but a beautiful term, groceries. It sort of says a bag with different things in it. Groceries went through the roof, and I campaigned on that.
For this father of 3, it's not old-fashioned. It's a real concern, with prices set to go higher.
We're going to start feeling the pinch pretty soon, right?
We're feeling it now. You know, I go in there, I see the prices. I try to act like they don't exist, and I just try to work harder.
Almost every industry feeling the pinch. This appliance store in Norwood, Massachusetts hopes to absorb some of the costs.
If there are increases in price, you know, they'll see if the manufacturer can absorb some of them too. You know, really just to keep the cost down for the consumer.
And this Toyota dealership in Palm Beach, Florida, is trying to hold out too.
They would be able to absorb, sustain a period of time, you know, with these without really passing it along to consumers.
But at David Dion's furniture store in LA, he says he'll have to pass on at least some of the costs to the consumer.
If you had to absorb more of the tariff and not pass it on to consumers, could you stay in business?
No, I would get out of business. There is no way I can absorb this kind of costs.
And David, as we just saw, some of those businesses will try to absorb the cost, but the reality is, from furniture to appliances, from cars to groceries, it's consumers will have to bear the burden of those tariffs. David.
We're just 24 hours in, and we're going to stay on this. Matt Gutman with us tonight. Matt, thank you. To the other major news this Thursday night, authorities are warning of potential tornadoes again tonight. Dangerous storms moving in across multiple states. There have been at least 30 tornadoes already. At least 6 people are dead. This EF3 with 150-mile-an-hour winds near Lake City, Arkansas. Families sheltering underground. So Lee Goldberg is standing by with the forecast, and Victor Akendo from the storm zone.
Tonight, families in fear, bracing for powerful storms amid a devastating and deadly tornado outbreak. More than 30 tornadoes reported in the last 24 hours.
All I see is a piece of plywood.
East of Memphis, lightning flashing as first responders search for survivors after an EF3 tornado with 160-mile-an-hour winds slammed Selmer, Tennessee. And northwest of Memphis in Lake City, Arkansas, a tornado emergency declared for this EF3 monster.
Please, John, keep it going right.
You can hear Britton Tyner praying as that massive tornado poured down on his family, taking shelter underground. Morgan Ernest telling our Ginger Z she rode out the tornado in this cellar with her 2 toddlers, husband, and mother.
You could feel just in that storm cellar, just it shaking. Yeah. And the debris falling down.
This SUV landing on top of the shelter. Thankfully, they were able to get out and round up the family dog and her 5 puppies. The tornado tearing a path of destruction across town. This was Super Body Auto and Paint in Lake City. You can see that pickup truck flipped upside down. The owner and his wife were here when the tornado hit. Family tells me they were stuck underneath all of this rubble for 3 hours. Firefighters rushing them to the hospital. What did they say when they called you?
Que se le había caído el edificio.
That the building had fallen on them. Authorities in Lake City say given the size of that tornado, it's a miracle no one was killed here. David, this will take a massive cleanup effort. They just can't work fast enough as there are real concerns about more storms that could bring catastrophic flooding. David?
In that same region, Victor, thank you. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg from our New York station, WABC, tracking another dangerous night ahead. Hi, Lee.
David, flash flooding in Little Rock right now.
Yes. We back in the building with another podcast vlog, and this is RDP podcast. Well, it stands for Raw Dope Podcast, but I gotta say RD Podcast. So listen, let me start back over. Let me do another take. Yes. We back in the building with another podcast. This is RD Podcast, and I'm your host, Sam 5000. And in my famous words, in the words that I like to say, good morning, 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 good morning. What's happening? Listen, man. Outside of Donald Trump shenanigans, WACK100 they finding out, they putting this case together against WACK100, the Rolling 60s indictment. Got that Meek Mill and Friday, got the best song ever. A lot of things going on. Outside of that, RDP, we in the building, man. Hey, be on the lookout for those interviews this morning. People like, why are you standing up? Well, I broke my gamer chair. And the gamer chair is actually gone. So had to get a new one. Had to get a new gamer chair, and I didn't put it together yet. But Amazon delivered it fast, and I got to put it together. So I got the black chair. The black chair is not my favorite chair. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do content different today. Stand up and do my content. So let's go, man. These tornadoes were bananas.
4 to 5 inches an hour with rainfall rates, vehicles being rescued. There are tornado warnings west of Nashville. The tornado threat could even be higher in Texarkana and Little Rock tomorrow. Maybe some EF3s. It's day 3 of the
EF3s, Jesus.
We could have 6 to 10 inches of additional rainfall. That could send local streams, creeks, and rivers into major flood stage. We have to wait till Sunday for relief. David?
Lee Goldberg back with us. Thank you. We turn now to the deadly home explosion and the massive inferno near Detroit. And here's Trevor Roll.
Tonight, a deadly house explosion rocking this Michigan neighborhood, showing wreckage and a massive hole left in its wake. First responders on the scene south of Detroit just before 6 this morning, battling the inferno.
It was all just flames. It was a big boom. Exactly when I woke up, I heard that big boom.
The force of the blast launching a couch into a window across the street. A second home also catching fire. Debris strewn across multiple yards, littering trees and rooftops. Authorities say 2 people were inside at the time of the blast.
Upon arrival, the officers located 37
38-year-old female trapped in the house under rubble, and a 38-year-old male who had actually been blown out of the house into the front yard.
Both victims were hospitalized for extensive burns and other injuries. Authorities say the woman later died.
And David, this
Damn.
blast is under investigation, but officials say
Damn,
it's
bro.
gas-related. David, Trevor will
Damn, boy, that gas ain't no joke.
Washington, President Trump firing several members of the National Security Council following an Oval Office.
Boy, Trump just firing people.
Also tonight, what HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. told our reporter, he now acknowledges mistakes were made amid the massive firings in his department. Here's Rachel Scott.
Tonight, sources tell ABC News President Trump fired 6 members of the National Security Council at the urging of Laura Loomer, a far-right conspiracy theorist who met with the president in the Oval Office yesterday as he was preparing to announce his sweeping tariffs.
Always we're going to let go of people that we don't like, or people that we don't think can do the job, or people that may have loyalties to somebody else.
Loomer, who has promoted fringe theories, like that the 9/11 attacks were, quote, an inside job, has long been close to Trump.
She makes recommendations of things and people. And sometimes I listen to those recommendations.
The president says Loomer was recommending people for jobs.
Did she have anything to do with the NSC? Any two were ousted?
What it is. What's up? Shout out to the Mall Squad. Hazy, where you been at?
Security aide she considered disloyal. And today, at least 6 senior National Security Council officials were removed. It comes as ABC News learns of a major reversal at the Department of Health and Human Services. Monday, the agency began laying off 10,000 workers and shuttering whole divisions.
Wow.
Top scientists monitoring bird flu gone. The official who led the program that cut teen tobacco use in half, gone too. But tonight, Health Secretary RFK Jr. telling ABC News some of the programs eliminated were cut by mistake. Kennedy making those comments after ABC's Cheyenne asked him why the department had cut a CDC program that monitors lead levels in children. It was this program that uncovered the lead in applesauce pouches in 2023.
Can you explain the rationale for cutting a program like that and why that's not an essential service?
There were some programs that were cuts that are being reinstated. I believe that's what
Kennedy then acknowledged
What it
that in
is,
the course of
baby.
the mass layoffs and restructuring, several mistakes were made. Programs cut that should not have been, and people fired who should still be in their jobs.
There were a number of instances where studies that should have not have been cut were cut, and we've reinstated them. Personnel that should not have been cut were cut. We're reinstating them.
Secretary Kennedy insists the cuts are necessary to streamline the department, but he still has not said which programs are coming back or how many people will be rehired. David.
And acknowledging mistakes to ABC News, Rachel Scott there at the White House. Thank you. When we come back tonight, we are learning of a stabbing spree in the nation's capital, what we know so far. Also from Philadelphia tonight, you have to see the images coming out of the zoo. The first-time mother at 97 years old. And then the disturbing story tonight, the parents now charged the brawl during their children's game, where this played out in a moment here.
Wait.
So, hey man, hey y'all keep y'all prayers and y'all dua in the air for the brothers that those people that's going through those tornadoes. It's nothing. That's what I be skeptical about leaving like the DMV area. We don't experience a lot of that. It's places in the world that don't experience that. But man, my heart goes out to those people who grew up in those places and doing this. They go crazy when tornadoes come. Like really, just don't take it like how we take a snowstorm.
Of a stabbing spree in the nation's capital. Police say 6 people were stabbed in a neighborhood in Northeast Washington, including a grandmother and her 2 granddaughters. They are expected to survive. We're told the suspect is in custody tonight. This evening, several parents have been charged following a brawl during a youth hockey tournament in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. Coaches and parents coming out of the court, joining the fight. 3 parents have been charged with assault and disorderly conduct. When we come back here tonight, Bruce Springsteen's lost album's about to be revealed, and you have to see those remarkable images from the Philadelphia Zoo. She's a first-time mom at 97. To the Index, Bruce Springsteen revealing a treasure of never-before-heard songs.
Ain't gonna give us a copyright hit for that. Come on, man, run them lights up. 7 lights in the building. Oh shit, I ain't got the Cash App joint. You never know who might send your Cash App, so you can't never be mad about Cash Apps. Like you got to put the Cash App joint. I still got the 20 from yesterday. Somebody sent me. I'd like to see the Cash Apps up and buy a piece of equipment.
Her babies right here, and the team at the Philadelphia Zoo, America Strong.
They talk about a turtle, by the way.
Tonight at the Philadelphia Zoo, a new incredible world record. First-time mom at 97 years old and her babies. 4 critically endangered Western Santa Cruz Galapagos tortoise hatchlings have just hatched. Less than 50 are known to exist in America.
Hi, David.
Their care team introducing us.
They represent a new genetic lineage of this species and human care, and we're so happy about them.
Tonight, the zoo telling us they are proud to protect the endangered population and proud of that new mom. They call her Mommy. And they say, remarkably, she is a first-time mother at 97 years old. Now the oldest known first-time mother ever of her species.
Hi, David.
Zookeeper Jason Alfondre.
She is our oldest and longest tenured resident, estimated hatching in 1928 and has been here since 1932. So she's about as Philly as it gets.
Tonight, the zoo saying the babies are healthy. They'll be ready to make their big public debut on April 23rd, about 3 weeks from tonight.
Dang, turtles are long as shit.
Congrats to you, and the mom looks great. 97. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Yo, but Bobby, look, the turtle was born so long ago.
Today, we're here to announce the arrest of 3 more.
Yeah, we gotta listen to that.
Today, we're here to announce the arrest of 3 more MS-13 gang members who were in this country illegally, and they were in Florida, and we will be reviewing them. They've all been arrested for first-degree murder. We will be reviewing them to see if we will seek the death penalty. This has been a long-running investigation that started in 2015. The victim in this case was brutally murdered, stabbed approximately 100 times by multiple gang members before he was shot in the head. He suffered tremendously. And these indictments are a warning to all criminals. We don't care how long ago you committed the crime. We don't care where you go. We will find you, we will arrest you, and we will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. Gamez Maravilla was located in Lake County, Florida. Get ready for this. He was hanging drywall at the Villages when he was arrested. Bermudez Martinez was apprehended in Minnesota. Great police work by all of our federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies working together. Found this guy in Minnesota.
What up?
He thought he got away with this crime, and he did not. Navarro Martinez arrested right here in North Lauderdale. They are charged with a brutal murder of a young man.
Everybody's in the chat. What up?
One of these defendants sought him out, convinced him to come with him in his car, took him to a crime scene where they are all charged with violently stabbing him, almost like a game, to get a higher level in their gang initiation. They were all part of an MS-13, it's called Click, a clique that was living right here in Florida. They're not just a street gang, they are a highly organized terrorist organization. Last week in Virginia, you all saw, we arrested one of the worst MS-13 gang members. He was one of the top 3 leaders of MS-13 in our entire country. He was living right in Virginia, half an hour away from DC, in a nice apartment complex with normal neighbors, bicycles in yards. They are living among us because they think they can get away with this, and they cannot. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing guns, and especially violence to our country. And under Donald Trump's presidency, that has stopped. Every 7 minutes, an American dies of a drug overdose. Over 75,000 people die a year of fentanyl overdoses. More than 2 homicides an hour happen in America. We know there is so much more work to be done, and that's why we are all here fighting for victims of crime. These gangs are organized, They are terrorists. And look at these three guys. They thought they got away with it for almost a decade, but they did not. Thanks to the great men and women of law enforcement, they were found, they were arrested, and if convicted, they will never see the light of day again. More arrests are coming. If you are a gang member living in this country, I'd self-deport right now because we're coming after you. It's my honor today to introduce U.S. Attorney Hayden O'Byrne with the Southern District of Florida. Hayden, thank you and your team for your tireless work on everything that you've done to keep Florida safe, but also to keep our country safe by taking these terrorists off our streets. Thank you, Hayden. Thank you.
So that's what you heard of. I'm not gonna bore y'all because everybody always report, the culture. Every time you turn on the news, a black man. But them boys got knocked off, them MS-13 boys, for stabbing one of their own. And if you ever know, man, the MS-13 shit for real. So that's what I'm saying. That's one thing about RDP. We don't just play news. It's gonna kill a culture. You play it up. And I ain't just on my culture. But that boy WACK100 is on the list today. That's why I didn't put no real caption. And then Kanye West, him and his wife really filing for divorce now because he went to go check himself into a mental hospital. Like, man, this is getting sticky. But I was watching Keeping It in the G News last night and I fell asleep, man. That's why I ain't up at 6. And man, the boy WACK100 name is just viral. The boy WACK100 name is just viral. It's just viral.
What?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube. I'll hit you right back. Just text me.
Nah, oh man, listen, man.
Hold up. I got to do this. Oh my God. Hold up. I gotta type this in right. You don't even gotta type it all the way in. Dudes is breaking this down, bro. Like, it was somebody that Keeping It a G had on there, and they was, matter of fact, let me just go to bro shit. Bro ain't gonna give me no copyright in here. Let me just go to bro shit. That shit was deep about Wack. I had to, it made sense. Like, I wanna know. I'm a content creator. I wanna know because you always putting everybody else out there. Let me see. My man Keeping It G last night.
Yo.
No, that ain't the one. It's my man last video. Just gotta go to G last video. I need the one from 4 hours ago. I'm subscribed. How the fuck you just go to this channel? Join. Come on, Ray. With him, man. Man. What the hell is that video? Oh, yep, here it is. Yep, I got it.
What's up?
Yeah, my man G, I gotta play some clips on my man Keeping It a G because he covered it. Can't keep, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, boy got to the nigga. Hey, I'm gonna let y'all hear this.
Fuck with
Hey, what he going? He found out. He played old Fox and Million first. I was watching that. Here it is.
the story that we told you guys about WACK100.
Yeah, hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment.
What involves Mark Stevens' case and the Main Street Mafia crew.
I don't even lie. I don't really know too much about that story.
It's all gonna come together, man. Trust me, it's crazy. So, hey, with no further ado, man.
I'll watch that.
Your boy Michelle Buckle, man, Street Certified. April 16th, 2005. Safety trooper Darren Chase was on a routine patrol on Interstate 40 in Wheeler County, Texas, when he would pull over a 2005 Cadillac for driving 77 in a 70-mile-per-hour speed zone.
That was petty.
The driver, later identified as Cash McElroy Jones, stated that he was a truck driver and always ran about 5 miles over the limit. He also stated that he was en route to Tulsa, Oklahoma for a funeral. At some point during the traffic stop, The trooper would ask Cash Jones for permission to search his vehicle. After denying the request, K-9 units were called to the scene. During the search, troopers located a black rifle, black shotgun, a loaded black pistol, along with several clips and large amounts of ammunition for each gun. Following the recovery of the firearms from the vehicle.
Now, how the fuck did Wack get out of that? You know how much time they'd have gave me if I'd have got caught with that?
Cash Jones and his passenger, who would later go on to be...
Hey, Dave, yo, clout overrides common sense. I keep telling people that, yo. Clout overrides common sense. Clout overrides judgment. It's on the same level as envy, jealousy, hate. I mean, love. Like, it's that strong, yo. The urge to chase clout is strong.
Identified as his brother would be arrested, with both men being charged with unlawful possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Soon after this arrest, he will be briefly placed on a Fed hold before posting a $10,000 bond. Once out of jail, WACK100 would travel back to Los Angeles, where he would continue working with Death Row Records and Suge Knight. Only 2 years later, in January 2008, police would name Knight as one of the members of the mob Pyru Street Gang in a crackdown by authorities in the city of Compton. Despite his music industry connections and now managing Ray J and rapper The Game, WACK100's name would be left out of the crackdown. In that same year, Cash Jones, aka WACK100, would be caught on wiretap.
Yo, I told y'all, this the part they missing. WACK100 was used to get a line into Death Row. I've been saying that. That's what he was used for. Death Row was under investigation. Yo, after Tupac and Biggie murders, yo, Death Row was on the motherfucking chopping block. Then all the shootings and shit that happened behind, like, man, Death Row was under investigation and they used Wack.
Informing business partner Mark Stevens that the Main Street Mafia Crip leader Liddell Rawls was under investigation for the kidnapping and beating of Robert Ross, aka Stutterbox. Liddell Rawls, who prosecutors said was the leader of the Main Street Mafia Crips gang, would be accused in a criminal complaint filed in February 2011 of directing members to kidnap, beat, and rob the victim, Robert Ross. CS2 Back would play a pivotal role in that case, both helping authorities connect the dots to Del Dog via the wiretap phone calls and eventually helping Main Street beat their case.
Let's play Stutterbox talking to Wack. That's what I'm trying to figure out, though, Box. Help me understand this, because me and you both know that whole case was your thing. What is Mark saying I had to do with the case, bro?
Wack, listen, in the paperwork it said you tried to call Dog, remember?
I tried to
and he
call
won't take
Dog.
your call. I couldn't hear you.
I called the Dog.
But he said he didn't talk to you. He wouldn't take your call. But he said he wouldn't take and Dog said he was cool. He didn't want to talk to you in the paperwork.
That's what I said going off of, but that whole Main Street shit, that was your play. I had nothing to do with it. I was a victim.
Only 1 month after the indictment of the Main Street Mafia Crips, on March 9th, 2011, Cash Jones, aka WACK100, would appear in Texas State Court to have his charges finally dismissed from that 2006 unlawful possession of a firearm case, where he was caught with multiple firearms. On March 9th, 2011, Cash Jones, aka WACK100.
That's what I said going off of, but that whole Main Street shit, that was your play. I had nothing to do with it. I was a victim.
Only 1 month after the indictment of the Main Street Mafia Crips, on March 9th, 2011, Cash Jones, aka WACK100, would appear in Texas State Court to have his charges finally dismissed from that 2006 unlawful possession of a firearm case, where he was caught with multiple firearms and ammunition. The stated reason for the dismissal was not lack of evidence or a violation of WACK100's rights, as he claims. But based on the paperwork, WACK100's gun case was dismissed in the interest of justice. So investigating this story,
in the interest of justice. That's why this case got dismissed, y'all. In the interest of justice. What the fuck does that mean? I never heard that shit in a day in my fucking life. Sounds like cooperating to me. I mean, it basically, what that sounds like to me is we dropped this case in the interest of another fucking case. That's what that means. In the interest of justice in another case. That's what that, I mean, what else could it mean? What else could it mean in the interest of justice?
We tapped in with our brother Deuce M's from Athlete Chucks, a very popular California-based media company. They really tapped into the streets, and you know, Deuce M's, man, this is somebody who, when it comes to WACK100, man, he's done extensive research on this guy. He really breaks down, you know, how WACK100, you know, and why he concocted this whole improper search and seizure thing. So this is my question. So Wack has addressed this before, right? Because we know the story real. We got the paperwork. He can't dispute it. It's a real case. He really got caught with hella guns as a felon in Texas. And his brother was a felon, right? So it was two felons that got caught. Right. So has he ever explained how these charges got dropped? Because you sent me the paperwork and I see what it say, and it says in the interest of justice.
I see the video where he claims that it was dismissed for illegal search and seizure, right? Now, within that same paperwork that you got, I got that paperwork from the clerk of Wheeler County, Texas, the deputy clerk, old Debbie McLaughlin, right? And you probably can see that on the email, right? Right. To verify where I got it from. And there was a motion to suppress the evidence, which essentially argued fruits of a poisonous tree based upon the argument that this was an illegal search and seizure.
Y'all hear it?
Right. I saw that. And the judge denied that. Right. Now, Wack, I'm going to send you the thing where Wack is saying that's how his case got dismissed. I get pulled over, the search happened in Texas, right? So immediately, that's why they had the Fed hold. They like, well, yeah, you know, he crossed the state line. But you can't prove.
Yeah, what the fuck does that mean?
You can't prove nothing.
Yo, I was watching. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. Hey, what's happening, Ball? What's happening, OBG, original bad guy, the fam? You know what's up with us. I was listening to this last night, and I was like, oh wow, somebody's really exposing Wack, but keep it in the G. My man Sean, he been on Wack ass, bro. Like he don't play with him. He's not joking with him. He don't play with Wack. He can't stand Wack. He doesn't like what Wack do at all. And you know what I'm saying? And he does his research. So that's why I'm playing the clips. And I was listening to that show. I said, damn, what these men are saying about him make a lot of sense. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to finish playing the clip, but it makes a lot of sense. Nah, can you give me a donation? Donation, I give you a shout out. Like, come on, bro. I'm content hustling. Let me put it in there for you. Because you want a shout out. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You deserve it. You deserve it. If you ain't here chilling with me, you feel me? You deserve it. You deserve it. So I'm going to give you a shout out right now that you should drop something right here. If you want me to give you a shout out, give me a shout out and donate to my channel. You feel me? I give shout outs to people that's always on my channel. You know what I mean? But come on, man. It's a shout out for a shout out.
You know, I didn't pick it up in Texas. And she found something. Wheeler County. There you go. Cash Jones, Wheeler County. Them motherfuckers. Hey, bro, shout out to Texas for having audio and video on the front of their squad cars. Because if I'd have been in Cali Beach, I'd have been fucked. I'd have had to take it. Hey, because they have the right to report based on the audio, the video and audio. Yeah. Like if I'd have been to California, it'd have been my word against them for the X-Con, word against theirs on how they got it. Them niggas could have said they saw stuff on the back seat. They could have said all kinds of shit. But because they had audio and video, that's what they.
Right. So basically, Wack is lying about why this case got dismissed, and we know that because we contacted the clerk in Texas. They sent the paperwork, and it clearly states that his motion to suppress was denied because the judge found that none of his rights got violated. They did the right kind of search, and this is what they found. So then when he Right. They had the right probable cause. So he didn't get that evidence suppressed. So then when I see the motion to dismiss and the judge grants it, and I see it's a list of all of these things that it could be. Right. And there's a lot of that. You said what? One of the boxes is checked. Right, only one of the boxes is checked. But the things that it could be were surprising because it was like lack of evidence. Nope, that's not the problem. Illegal search and seizure. Nope, that's not the problem. Like, I think it said something like the person that died or something. It was like a few different reasons why they would drop the case. And none of those things were X'd off except for this thing that they call in the interest of justice. What's your take on what does that mean?
Now, yesterday when I heard them say that in the interest of justice, I looked it up and I explained to you. It just means that the judge and the prosecutor found the reason that was, that was just, acceptable to work in the best favor of everybody. And with getting caught with guns in the car, convicted felon on a highway, it's a federal case because it's on a highway already. So you going with the feds, and then you are a felon in possession of handcuff, man. That's a 924C, bro. And you on a federal highway, you can't duck that rat. You damn right you can't duck them switches. Now that's like ducking a switch. That's like saying, man, the boy had a switch aimed right at me and I didn't get hit one time. That might be possible. Meaning you might could duck a switch before you could beat that case. That's what I'm telling you. You might conduct a switch point blank range before you be able to get pulled over in Texas, whatever county, with a bunch of ratchets being convicted of a felony and they're not legal guns, illegal guns on a federal highway, and you're the driver of a vehicle. It spells out BOP, Bureau of the BOP, the Bureau of Federal Corrections, the DOC, Division of Corrections. It's the BOP or DOC. It's not Bureau of Prisons or DOC, Division of Corrections. That's it. It's only two ways you go. WACK100. Here we go.
So the evidence is insufficient? No. The defendant was sentenced in another case. The complaining witness has requested dismissal. The case will be refiled. The defendant is unapprehended. The defendant is deceased. The defendant has been granted immunity. Other in interest of justice.
A person get a case dismissed. Like, what is in the interest of justice? What does that usually mean?
That was the first time I ever heard it, right? So, in the interest of justice essentially means that
it's like a coconut,
the prosecution filed that motion to dismiss the case. So, WACK100's attorneys and WACK100 have to convince the prosecution
I'm not getting paid for saying
in the interest of justice that two ex-felons crossing federal state lines, making it traveling interstate commerce, making it a federal case. That sending out that message is that it's cool. It's in the interest of justice that we don't prosecute this dude, which is a far-fetched reach, right?
Especially in Texas, when for people that got 5 years for just weed in Texas.
Don't mess with Texas.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my other question. So, like you said, he's trafficking goods across state lines. Him and his brother are already convicted felons. Somehow, some way, they get their charges dropped. Why did this thing never go federal?
Right? The feds have put a fed hold on him off of the top. He admitted to the police in a statement to the trooper, Darren Chase, that dad came from California and he was going to pick up his mother for because she couldn't travel. But the dude, once WACK100 says that he got a bail, his brother didn't get bail. They let him out first. He only had $180, but he had a black card. He says that a white man picked him up, him and his brother. But if the bail bond was closed, it took a couple of days later. How did you? And then he said the airport was 15 miles away. He was transferred to Beaumont, the federal facility, or some kind of holding facility in Beaumont. He was in jail for not just a night or overnight to the next day. he says 6-7 days later he was still in jail on a hold, and that the feds came all the way to where he was at to tell him, "Hey, look, we don't want to pick up the case." Like, why would the feds come talk to you in person?
Right, they just wouldn't pick it up.
Or they would fax over information to the jail or to the district attorney in that city. Now y'all can pick it up. We can't do it. Why did they have to come speak to you face to face and then you get a ban? You know what I'm saying?
And then they don't pick it up.
They give him a low ass.
So this was the interesting thing I'm gonna put in there, and it's gonna come with the story. Like I said, we're working on the story. Within 1 month, so in my research, and it's a little spoiler, man. So you know what I'm saying? Within the research, that Main Street Mafia case, where WACK100, we know by now, was caught on the wiretap. The indictment for that case was February 2011. That's when those guys got indicted. Now, they ended up, the case getting dropped in June, but they got indicted in February 2011. WACK100 got...
What was going on before that?
Huh?
But the case, see...
Yeah, the case started in 08. So, yeah, now I know the case started in 08, and they was investigating it that whole time. Wack was caught on wiretap in 08, but they actually didn't file the charges to 2011. Coincidentally, a month later, WACK100 gets his Texas gun case dropped. Almost a month to the day in March of 2011. And
you get your calculations.
You can check the dates. I was going to say, you can check the dates. They indicted Dead Dog and Main Street Mafia Crips in February 2011 after a 3-year investigation or 4-year investigation. And a month later, WACK100 got his gun case dropped in Texas.
Hey.
It's your boy, Commercial Guapo, Street Certified News, the most reputable source for urban media.
Man, that man working, man. Look, and they ain't even get into the they ain't even get into this. Dang.
I don't know where my paper's at. Wacky boy. So what y'all think of the comments? Let me tell you. Hold on, keep it in. So what y'all think? What y'all think? Because when, like, all right, I'm gonna tell you something. Cooperating with the law is never the right thing to do. Absolutely not. Especially if you're a person from the gutter and you involved in things, right? Dad, yo, bro said there's interviews with real pyro saying Wack ain't AOG. He definitely an informer. Yeah, I believe that. So with a dude like Wack, right? I'm gonna tell you how serious Wack is, how vicious Wack is. Wack got to have an agent watching his every move because the things that he say, and it's one thing. Like, all right, I don't respect nobody that go and cooperate with the police, especially if you're in the underground world. If you're a hustler, scammer, pimp, mac, robber, killer, drug dealer, you know what I'm saying? You are in an underground world. You get what I'm saying? And things or rules apply that don't apply in the regular society. So it's things that you know good and goddamn well that you can't do. Whether you right or wrong, it's dudes that sat in prison for years for crimes they didn't commit it because they was under that law. That law that nobody gives a fucking. Bank of America, Navy Federal, when you go buy the house or you go buy, a building, none of those underground laws apply. The shit that people from the streets, murder robbers, pimps and macs and scammers and arsonists and the criminal mind in the criminal world, they don't care about certain things. And there's certain rules that you gotta abide by, and they simple. They're not the rules of the world. Hey, if you get caught up for something, don't mention my name. You know what I mean? Don't mention my name. That's the biggest rule that you could break. You know what I mean? That's the biggest rule in the criminal element that you could break by sharing what goes on in the streets with the court system. That's the biggest mistake you can make. A lot of us choose to get killed, to get locked up, and never take that route. A lot of men took that route. A lot of women took their route. And some people eyes is justifiable, and some of their eyes they just know they cruddy and fucked up. But when you know you're doing this, right? And you know the consequences for this, regardless of who you got protecting you, and you continue doing this, you are a vicious informant. You are a vicious rat, and you have to be having somebody with a sniper rifle watching you everywhere you go. Because you're moving around comfortably, you know where to stay from, and you constantly in everybody business. That's what happens when you in everybody business. People start doing research. Why you always saying somebody telling? Why you always saying it? Then people start looking into you, and now they looking into Wack. It's looking into Wack, and I've been saying Wack weird. You know what I mean? But I had no proof of purchase to say the man was a rat. Maybe he just a dude that talk too much. Maybe he just a nosy motherfucker. We know nosy motherfuckers that wasn't a rat. You know what I mean? We know nosy people in the neighborhood that wasn't a rat. But we know nosy motherfuckers that'll tell something. But so being a nosy motherfucker ain't always saying that you'll cooperate with the police. We know nosy motherfuckers from the ghetto that know everything, but slam the door in the police face. You know what I mean? I gave Wack that benefit of the doubt for a minute. Like, man, Wack just talking shit, man. People think, but then when you start digging into it, even with this big, hey, you know, so and so better be careful. What the fuck? Hold up. Wait a minute. How you know that? And only people that work in that area know that. And now, you know what I'm saying? Different platforms are tired of him acting like he exposing people and doing certain shit. So now they starting to put him out there. So here we go, man. Let's get back into this clip. Shout out to Keeping the G News, my brother, man. I piggyback off his content. Same way you do mine. That's how we get down, man. DMV, stand up. Baltimore media.
Soul food place, right? So I get in there. I don't know, you know. He got these two chicks with him, you know. Well, Starbucks always got women with him. He like, yeah, these two chicks, you know, she from New Orleans and she from whatever they here. You know, they just want to holler at us, you know, they cool. Some bad bitches, you know, and I'm looking at Box like, all right. You know, we order food. Box gets up, goes to the bathroom. When he goes to the bathroom, the one chick says from New Orleans says, yeah, we was hit about 5 keys. But our connection, he went dark. You know, Box tells us that, you deal with Suge. So I'm like,
look,
the hell with Suge?
You understand?
Yeah.
It got to do with 5 keys, right?
If he was the target of the investigation, they would be asking about Suge.
Right.
But then you find out that they found a firearm. This is something different than what we just watched.
Yeah.
So he got the firearms case tossed out in Texas. Then you find out he got caught with a firearm in this case that just disappeared.
What the fuck do I got to do with buying keys? But at the time, I'm not understanding what's going on. I said, look, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. So I make my way to the bathroom. Instead of going left, I go right to valet. I get out of here. 15 minutes later, Box like, where you go? Because he didn't came back. Where you go? Man, I'm on my way home. Oh, bro, asking me something about 5 keys and Suge and all that. I don't know who you with, bro, but watch your back. I don't know what that's about. Now, what's shocking is, fast forward months later, I find a tracking device on my diesel. It's in the book. I let me find know what it was. I call my company. I'm thinking they put something on my diesel, trying to monitor my driving versus my logbook, right? And this my mechanic that still works down here today will verify this. I called him on the phone. Hey man, pissed off. Can you put something on my, on my truck? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Call local police department. Whole time, Craig Cadence is listening to the wiretap, so I guess they was able to see where I was at, call ahead. So when I called the police department gave me this mumbo jumbo. Oh yeah, they've been doing that. The trucks in the area. Go ahead and take the box off. Leave it there. We're gonna be on the way. This is that. I don't know about it. I'm still in the dark. Right. So this when the light came on. When they raided my home, they watched my wife take my kids to school, come back, and come in. They're running off to the house. They don't find her. They find a firearm that's registered to my wife. Right?
They don't find nothing, but they find a firearm that's registered to my wife. Yo, that is a crime. Like, yo, you see how you just try to gloss over that? Yo, you are a convicted felon. I don't give a fuck that shit registered to your wife or not. That shit ain't supposed to be in the same house as WACK100. He goes to jail for that. But somehow, some way, motherfucking he always find a way to slide through the cracks.
Craig thinks his leverage is, well, Wack lives in a house. He's an ex-convict, right? He's supposed to be around firearms. Little did Greg know that I'm not a resident of the state of California anyway. So I own like 7, 8 houses at the time.
That shit means nothing.
Matter of fact, at that time, I had about 12.
That don't mean nothing.
I was heavy in real estate. So they took a bunch of my files and go down there with, I think my attorney was Jeffrey Brody at the time. Tell Brody to meet us at the Wilshire District.
Yo, he tells this to people that don't know. You know, WACK100 is good at talking to people that don't know about the system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he good with words. He can trick you with wordplay. But if you know about the system, man, they're not trying to hear that shit. I don't give a fuck how many houses you own. We found a gun in this house. You reside here.
Sure.
You're not supposed to be around firearms. You're going to prison. Simple and plain. You know what I mean? All that's little side talking he doing, none of that matters in reality. And people don't play like that. It's predatory.
Greg and his partner, but this what fucks me up. When we come off the elevator, I see a bunch of people in FBI flag jackets. Guess who one of the person I see? The fucking female from New Orleans that asked about the 5 keys. So let's get deeper than what he talking about, right? And he was already working with the feds on whatever he been working on with dealing with everybody in LA County.
So, yo, and that's another thing, too, that people is getting confused. This is 2 different investigations. You got the investigation of Stutterbox and the insane Crips and all that shit we just learned about. And you have another investigation going on with Death Row, which they use WACK100 for.
Right.
But he confuses people by tying it all together, and it is not the same. The reason they was after Wack ain't have shit to do with what Stutterbox had going on.
From the understanding with my attorney and Greg, they didn't know Box was sent to them by the feds. So the question everybody asks is, what was he already doing with the feds? He was already working with them. It's just stocky.
Dirk was under federal investigation at that time.
When I came off and I seen the chick, because she was real.
That's why Dirk ain't go to jail.
Like Creole style girl, right? So, damn, that's the one. That's when the light came on. But it still hadn't registered. I still don't know at this time. I'm telling myself, oh shit, I wanted Box know this motherfucker's the feds. I still ain't put it together. So when we sit down, my attorney going to threaten to file a harassment suit. You know, I live in a gated community. You can kick this dude's door in, embarrassment, this, that, other, this, that.
He fucked up the story again. This is on. This is how he fucked up the story. They try to backtrack. He talks about how his attorney talks about a lawsuit, but then when he sit back with Greg Caton, listen to what he said.
Right, and he was already working with the feds on whatever he been working on with dealing with everybody in LA County. From the understanding with my attorney and Greg, they didn't know Box was sent to them by the feds. So the question everybody asks is, what was he already doing with the feds? He was already working with them. It's just documented, right? So when I came off and I seen the chick, because she was real fine, like a Creole style girl, right? So, damn, that's the one. That's when the light came on. But it still hadn't registered. I still don't know at this time. I'm telling myself, oh shit, I wanted Box know this motherfucker's feds.
I'm thinking
I still ain't put it together.
at this point. Yeah, shit, me.
So when we sit down,
Hold up.
my attorney would have threatened to file a.
Now, this is where I do my reaction. So, WACK100 saying this, and I heard all the lies. Like, for one, why you sitting down with the feds? That's number one. No, why you sitting down with the feds, bro? It ain't nothing to talk about. They grabbing me, y'all charging me, not on my lawyer. I don't have nothing to say. And then if I see a chick that was with a dude I was with that got a fat FBI jacket on, I'ma think he was putting me together. Ain't no motherfucking way. I'm saying it's a possibility that bro don't know that's the feds, but I'm confused. He talking about it ain't registered. It's registered to me quick. It's registered to me quick. I'm just saying when you in that, if you a criminal, you're not criminal ever, you're like, oh, yo, I just went. She asked me about 5 bricks at a dinner. He walks off to the bathroom, and she asks me, man, these people try to put me together. That's what I'm thinking, because I'm a listener. I listen to everything he said. Yo, say, yo, dude, get up to go to the bathroom, and the dude asked him about 5 bricks and whatever. He said, I ain't when we get in this car, he did. Okay. And then you call him, man, I don't know what baby girl talking about. She talking about 5 bricks and shit like that. Okay. Next thing you know, you get grabbed, they raid your house and do all this. You find a tracking device on your car. You say you Paru, my nigga. You say you Paru. You know what a tracking device on your car hitting for, bro. You know what a tracking device on your car hitting for, broski. No joke. You know what a tracking device on your car hitting for. Like, come on, Wack. Like, I can't go with that. I just can't go with that. Don't make sense. Let y'all keep listening.
Harassment suit. You know, I live in a gated community. You kick this dude's door in, embarrassment, this, that, other, this, that, another, this, that. We still don't know what basis they had for that. Yeah. It doesn't come out until we're pressing about this lawsuit until we get to the bottom. And they have to talk about it. They're like, look, man, we need them to drop that lawsuit. You know, things that happen between then. I've been pulled over leaving Encore Studio, Game Studio. Right? You tell me, cuffed up, ran through my car and find me. I go to Burbank Police Department. I memorize the license plate number of the vehicle. So y'all made to file a complaint, harassment, this, that, another. Got my attorney on the phone, this, that, another. Right? You can go pull this shit up. I'm pretty sure it's a case number. No, you can't. Right? You can't pull none of this shit up. They're like, I give them the license plate to the vehicle. They said, don't make sense. That's the LAPD vehicle, not ours. They offer offers like off of San Fernando in the LA area. Go to this address. I get to the address. I'm in there like talking my shit to the whoever the watch commander is. And they're like, we don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I just left Burbank. This license plate is registered to your police department. They pulled me out, searched my vehicle without my consent. At this time, I'm oblivious to this shit. All this is box. Right? They trying to catch me dirty. Right? Guess what walks in?
They already caught him dirty. They already caught him dirty, right?
In Texas.
I told y'all that's how they do anyway. When they trying to catch you, that's what they're going to do. They're going to pull you over. They already caught him dirty, but somehow the gun case disappeared. It's the second gun case that he got that disappeared.
In the door. The 2 fucking officers. It's like 2 in the morning. I said, that's them right there. Well, even Greg says, he's like, yeah, he was a different type of animal because who memorizes a license plate number? Right? So I didn't know until Greg like, look, man, you got this lawsuit on us. We don't know nothing the fuck about you. We don't want to know nothing the fuck about you. And I think Greg had made his mind up, and I don't know what it went in previously.
See, now this is where, like I said, I do real reaction because I listen. Now he said he's pulling the feds up. Now he said he was questioned by the feds. Now he said they harassed him. Now he's saying they don't know nothing about you and don't give a fuck about you. It don't make sense. Why y'all put a GPS on my car? Like, why y'all put a GPS on my car? Why y'all raiding my house if y'all don't care about me? That don't make sense, Wack. It don't make sense. That's why I said some people talk so much that they drown in their own spit.
He had it with stutter box. So he told me, like, yo, this dude right here is the one put us on you, this, another. I'm in shock. Because I never had discussions with Stutterbox about my trucking business, what I did. He would always call and tell me, yeah, my homeboy bald head, some dude named bald head. My homeboy bald head drive trucks. I'm like, he don't make no money like that. He's still struggling to do this, that, and other. So I think in his head, he's like, how this dude living behind the gate with me? He got Mercedes Benz, his kids going to private school. Like, I think in his head, like, okay, I know he do business with Suge. He put together his own little thing and says, he's asking, where you going? Oh, down there by TJ. But it's a city called National City where the car carrier boats dock. So we load Bentley, Porsche, Toyota, Mazda, all that's loaded down there. Right? And he's like, where you at? Oh, man, I'm going northwest. It was a great run. Run paid like 15,000, 16,000. Great run, right? So I think he put all this in his head that, because he knows some truck drivers, he would always reference some dude named Bald Head from his neighborhood. I don't know the dude. Yeah. Man, he don't make that kind of money, so I'm thinking in his head, he's like, this dude doing something. And he fed him. He didn't even snitch, he lied snitch. That's a different kind of snitch. Because you lied.
Now he's trying to make himself the target again. But we know he wasn't the target. Death Row was the target. You understand? You see how he's telling this story, and it's all over the place.
Yeah.
He wasn't the target, man. He was just the person that they can use to get to the target because they was investigating Death Row for criminality. Death Row had active gang members involved. Death Row was involved in, allegedly. It was people in Death Row that they wanted for murders and shit. And they seen Wack as the weak link, as the truck driver, and they flipped this dumbass. It's a bitch. Basically, what I'm trying to explain to people. He's a bitch. The fucking police officer, man. That's why he's all out doing the shit that we doing now. If you backtrack to the live we did earlier where I showed y'all the role that social media, since we got more people, we might gotta go back and watch that video again. And just see how the feds infiltrated social media.
Yeah, that's a fact.
From the beginning. From the beginning.
I've been said that, like, anytime something come out new, the police department, whether it's the feds, the CIA, ever, they gonna make a special intelligence force to tackle. Just like when hip hop started being big, they made hip hop police. You get what I'm saying? That's where this cybersecurity shit come from. I remember being young, and they was talking about get a career in cybersecurity. So they had all these people, and they on that shit, bro. Like, and there ain't no way on God's green earth in 2025 the average person is, getting money off the internet or doing anything. If you get money off the internet, so that's legal money. You know what I'm saying? And Muslim, it's halal money. So you getting halal money off the internet. You getting good halal money, good money off the internet, and then you mixing it with the street shit to run up the views. Hell no, bro. I've been on YouTube for over 6 years, and I'm still ain't even hit 5K. Yeah, and I refuse to be one of them for it. You know what I'm saying? You have to do your daily routine in life, but just, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get some bread, you know what I'm saying? That's my hustle for real, but that shit that them guys be into, I could never be into, man. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I just don't play with the people like that. It's just too many people doing too much fuck shit and frivolous shit. And WACK100 is one of them dudes. And I say that I don't respect nobody that will get caught up for something that they doing. Like, you got caught in the car with guns, right? And your guns belongs to you and your brother. If y'all would have made it to safety, y'all would have reaped the benefits or did what y'all needed to do with the guns. I understand that 100%. Do what you gotta do with the guns. But when you get caught with the guns, that's your charge. You don't decide to go work and then start fucking up other people's lives and their situations because you got caught. You have to be a man to stand on business and fight your charge like a man and pray for the best. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. That's just facts. That's just the way it goes in that criminal element. When you choose to be a criminal and engage in criminal activities, it is things that come with that. Robbery, murder, and incarcerations. They're the three main things that come with it. It's the three main things that come with it. Robbery, you can be set up, you could be robbed. The drug deal can go bad, bro. You might have to kill somebody. Things happen when you sign up for that. And one thing is the golden rule. You cannot choose to work with the law. If you choose to open that door and be a criminal, you can't work with the law. You just can't. And if you work with the law, it's consequences of that. And those consequences are brutal. And the law can't save you. So when you do it and you get away with it and you remain free and you don't get your head busted, chill out. Why couldn't Wack just be a commentator and just do what he got to do? Why he couldn't be like Gangsta Williams? You know, fuck that. You gangsters did what he did, and he doesn't act like he didn't do what he did, and he's standing on what he did, bro, and he's staying out the way. You know, in the duration of his life, he's trying to make it right. You get what I'm saying? I mean, I can't do nothing but humbly be like, okay. You get what I'm saying? For real. Like, man, bro, you ain't out here being tough. You ain't out here acting like you go hard. You ain't cracking slick. So I respect you. I respect you on a different level, man. I respect you. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, man, you's a rap motherfucker. And you stand in the rap cave. You ain't out here trying to hurt more people. You ain't out here trying to act like you ain't did what you did. You did what you did. You standing on it, and you stand out the criminal element, and you being a rat, and you stand in the sword. You know what I'm saying? That's the most thing that you can respect. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you a rat, and you stand out the way, and you making rat content. You ain't talking tough, people talking tough, disrespecting you. You accepting that because that's what you know you done because you was a part of that criminal element. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to do that fucked up shit, get the fuck out the way. Don't keep trying to be tough and get one up on people. You did what you did. You broke the rules. Nothing you ever done count no more. You know, Bad Prophet was good. Bad Prophet was good. Boy, you out of town, Prophet? You out of town, bro? I see a plane. I see the back. You like the back of that plane. I don't know why, but big bro like the back of the plane. It's not my thing. I don't even know where you sit at on the plane because if it go down, it's just it don't matter what seat you in. It's over. It's over yo. You know what I'm saying? Oh wow. Oh, this rainy day. You at work or this rainy day? Make sure y'all follow Porch Prophet TV too. And I'm fighting my way back in the algorithm. We did pretty good yesterday. Shout out to everybody that be tapping in the raw dope. We almost did 1,800 yesterday. I'm proud of myself. You know what I mean? Tap in. That I mean, tap in, tap in, tap in, tap in, tap in, tap in. Hit that notification button. Hit that subscribe button. 16 likes. I like that. But let's get back to what Keeping It G talking about. Then we'll do our news flash. See what's going on around the world with the news.
We're gonna go back to that.
Fabricated some shit and then told it to the police and put them on me. Right? And that's there it came. Reggie working on told me working on getting some tapes and stuff because he's very adamant about what he did or didn't do. Everybody in Los Angeles, the fact that he can sit there with Spotted over there, wherever this other dude is that don't know how to talk, I don't know what to do. And they say, yeah, we know you told on the homies, but that's cool. He says nobody went to jail. Well, I'm confused. In CCB court, them 7 dudes got on the county jail bus and got transported to downtown and came out of the back in LA County jail jumpsuits. They fought that shit down there 9 months. What does he mean nobody went to jail? They was in jail for this case that you pointing the finger at them on. Right? What you mean? The only reason why they beat prison is because they was able to line you up, make you perjure yourself on the stand, and claim you wasn't a fucking informant, and in walks Greg Cadence, which I orchestrated that with Mark Stevens and my attorney. The only one came from that. You dropped the shit, we dropped the shit. I used it for that to help a certain individual out. I called my attorney, had the attorney put Greg Cadence and Mark Stevens together. They put that together to add Fox on stand. You go pull the paperwork. Have you ever been a confidential informant to work for the LAPD FBI as a known snitch? He lied on the oath and said no. Greg Cadence takes a stance, provides a document that this dude is in fact one of our informants, this, that. At that point, the judge looks at it. He perjured himself. Therefore, any allegations or any claims he's bringing on anybody is null and void. They dropped the charges on these 7 Crips and let them go. So in a sense, this Paul who freed the Crips.
Man, get the fuck out of here.
You know,
I ain't free no motherfucking Crips. Nigga, your bitch ass is working too. Scott Mouse is working and he was working.
Right.
Let me show y'all what I'm talking about, though, yo. Y'all need to see this shit if you haven't seen it. Dang. Let me show y'all something. We watched this earlier. But it just shows y'all how the feds infiltrated social.
We all know that the feds fucking with social media and doing shit like that. You know what I mean? That's just what it is, man. That's just what it is. Just get into these news flash, man. I gotta get into these news. Academic one of that. Which content? Doug Weinstein. Doug Weinstein gotta deny snitch. Okay, I mean, Doug Weinstein on the news. Oh yeah, and then they said Young Thug. That bullshit with Young Thug,
right? And we're
the judge.
Prices in this area, like homes aren't cheap. Taxes are increased. IRS EFA.
Yeah, they keep saying Gunna ain't snitch, all that shit. But Thug ain't going. That violation of probation ain't going to stand up for Young Thug too. Yeah, the judge said she not violating him for no social media posts. You know what I mean? She ain't violating the man for no. You know what I mean? Damn, Shorty got locked up. Yeah, this is important.
Lawmakers are facing their own budget concerns in Annapolis, along with several other hot-button issues as the session winds down.
Gary Collins with Spotlight on Maryland has been in Annapolis asking lawmakers if now is the right time financially for a reparations commission and if it's the right time to give violent offenders a second look.
Questions are circulating in Annapolis as to whether or not wins for the Legislative Black Caucus could pay huge dividends for the governor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Two Legislative Black Caucus of Maryland priorities, including establishing a reparations commission and giving the flexibility to judges to release violent offenders early, clear both chambers.
And we just see that it's time for us to begin to have a conversation.
Delegate Kalen Young, a Black Caucus member, said he and his colleagues are celebrating session victories, including the Reparations Commission establishment that will explore the possibility of financial payments for racial injustices and slavery.
And this is not a conversation about paying people today, but it is a conversation about what are the appropriate remedies.
At the end of the day, the commission will likely make a financial recommendation. In California, it's upwards to $1.2 million per person. How does the state afford that?
Well, I think we first and foremost have to see what the commission comes out with.
Meanwhile, hours later in the Senate,
Maryland's Second Look Act.
All right, House Bill 853 is on third reading for final passage.
Senate Republicans proposed multiple amendments to the Second Look Act. The act could allow those serving life sentences for violent crimes, including murder, to be released early. Some argue the bill was counter to public safety.
Where people were harmed and hurt on purpose, we would actually increase penalties and make it tougher. And instead, over the last several years, this body and the General Assembly has watered down those protections. And this is another in a line of those.
Senate Democrats disagreed with House Minority Whip Justin Reedy.
And I hear a lot of talk about the worst of these and hideous crimes taking a second look. But we have to also understand that Maryland incarcerates the highest number of persons, and the only state closest to us that's close to that is Mississippi.
Excellence and an eye on equity are not competing thoughts, they're actually completely intertwined.
A message about criminal justice reform and equity initiatives that was echoed by Governor Moore during a trip on Wednesday to New York City to be a special guest speaker to an event held by Reverend Al Sharpton.
And so the reason that we have to protect our history, the reason that we have to protect our past, and the reason that we have to push back against everybody and anybody who wants to try to minimize it or degrade it or erase it is not just because we are honoring the ancestors, but it's because we believe in our future.
We asked Delegate Young how reparations and the Second Look Act could affect the governor. Would this be beneficial to the governor and presidential campaign?
That's not for me to determine. And if the governor is able to help us achieve this, not only whether it's paid for it, whether it's monetary or something else, I think if we are able to find something that's appropriate and then we're able to execute on it in a way that has a positive impact on our state, that's certainly a platform that I think anybody can run on.
Our team was prepared to ask Governor Moore whether or not he intends to sign the Second Look Act or the reparations bill. Unfortunately, his team abruptly canceled his press availability this afternoon. I'm Gary Collins in the State House with Spotlight on Maryland.
Show a spotlight on Maryland. So what he's saying is what it is, what it is, what it is. So what is he saying that in Maryland, is a lot of men that's incarcerated with life sentence. The Second Look Act would allow dudes that got life sentences with parole to get a chance to get their freedom back. And years ago in the 90s, people with life had a chance to get parole and had a chance to, a second chance in society. Certain cases, life without parole means life without parole. And then it's life with parole. So, you know what I'm saying? If it ain't a crime against a woman, it ain't a crime against a kid, it ain't nothing, super crazy where they gonna look crazy letting them out on the person to do it again. I don't think they going at those dudes. They going at dudes that, deserve a second chance, who've been working since they've been in jail 20, 30, 40 years and been trying to do the right thing, who transition. And I think that's what it's more about, and that's a good thing. Let's get into the boy Trump. What he talking about? This tariff thing that we all got to pay attention to. It's got the United States going crazy. Something that we all got to pay attention to. The ghetto really don't pay attention to this, but now this shit is rolling over in the ghetto.
Our team is standing by to break it all down. Tonight, the heartland is reeling from deadly tornadoes and now the prospect of up to 15 inches of rain. The new details, we're learning about those deportation flights to El Salvador. Today, the judge blasted the government, saying they, quote, acted in bad faith. Maria Villarreal talks to the families of migrants sent there who say their loved ones haven't committed any crimes. Plus,
I'll trade my life for his. If Putin will just send him home and he wants another life of torture, take me. But give him back. Take me.
In our prime focus tonight, few people know a 73-year-old American teacher has been held in Russia since 2022. Tonight, the message his sister has for President Trump. Nearly 1,700 points, one of its worst single-day plunges ever. Millions of Americans are witnessing their retirement funds dwindle.
Let me tell y'all,
President Trump.
This how serious I am about, my craft and paying attention to this news. And that's why I started doing these vlogs outside of doing my vlogs when I'm at rap shows and do the hip hop. Everybody know I'm a hip hop journalist, but it is that nerd side. I mean, I'm gonna show you what I look on my wall at every day, what I look at and pay attention, because I wasn't born, I wasn't living. You know what I mean? I wasn't living at this time, but this time it did something to me. Just knowing the research and the history of this, and I worry about this. And you guys get a split second to read this. It's a little history for you. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of content creators don't go that way unless you like one of those super, black content creators and you got all these conspiracy theories. I'm not one of them, you know what I'm saying? Fuck perception. I go with what makes sense. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a big perception person. You get what I'm saying? I'm a reality person. You get what I'm saying? I'm a real big reality person. You know what I'm saying? Perceptions is cool when you're around the family, you have the dinner, and y'all talking about anything. But once you step outside your door, fuck perception and go with reality. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know. I don't know. No shy. That boy ain't going with perceptions. He going for what he do, bro. And I'm telling y'all that the world is reality. The world is reality. It's not pre-recorded. It's reality. It's in real time. Things are happening in real time, bro. In real time. They even saying the used car. I'm a used car salesman. They say that market about the plunges because they putting so much tariffs on these new cars. People going in their banks now and getting new cars if they want a new car, because they know 2026, the end of the year, new cars are just $6,000, they say $6,000 to $12,000 increase. And I know that sounds a little weird to y'all, but you better pay attention.
Brushing it off today, saying it's going very well and the markets are going to boom. But already one U.S. car maker is temporarily laying off hundreds of American workers because their parts factories in Canada and Mexico are hit by those tariffs. Tonight, economists say these new tariffs could cost the average American family of four more than $7,000 a year. And Americans are bracing for higher prices and also inflation. Our team is standing by to cover it all. Our chief business correspondent, Rebecca Jarvis, leads us off. Tonight, U.S. stocks in freefall. President Trump sweeping new tariffs, sending stocks plummeting, leading to the market's worst day since the start of the pandemic 5 years ago. The Dow plunging nearly 1,700 points, or 4%. The S&P 500 down more than 4.8%. The tech-heavy NASDAQ down nearly 6%. Among the hardest hit, car makers, including U.S. companies Ford, Tesla, and General Motors. And already tonight, the president's sweeping tariffs taking a toll on American jobs. The third largest automaker in the U.S., Stellantis, which makes Jeep, Chrysler, and Ram, temporarily laying off 900 workers in Indiana and Michigan as it pauses production in factories in Canada and Mexico after the president's new 25% tariff on foreign-made cars. And for Americans watching their 401ks shrink and bracing now for higher prices from groceries to cars, economists across the board arguing this is not a surprise with tariffs so steep.
The tariffs are a tax on imports, and that tax has to be borne by somebody, and history suggests that it's going to be the American consumer.
Other American companies seeing their stocks plunge too. Nike, which produces about half its shoes at factories in Vietnam, down 14.4%. Apple, which designs its phones in California, but relies on manufacturing in China, India, Vietnam, and Malaysia, down 9.2%. And if Apple made just 10% of its phones back here in the US, analysts estimate the cost of an iPhone would surge from $1,000 to $3,500 because of the cost of labor here. Home building and furniture hurt too. Restoration hardware stock sinking 40% as the president announced his tariffs. The CEO reacting in real time.
Really? Okay. I just looked at the screen. I haven't looked at it. It got hit when I think the tariff came out.
And tonight on Wall Street, investors telling me the pain is far from over.
Living through a day like today, not knowing what the next few days are going to bring or the next quarter, that's where it gets a little troubling.
A lot of agony for investors. Rebecca joins us now from Wall Street. And Beej, it's only been 24 hours. What are companies and investors watching for in the coming days and weeks?
Yeah, Lindsay, this is still day one. Companies are sifting through the information, trying to get a hold of their suppliers overseas to understand how this is going to shake out. Also, those overseas countries, they have yet to announce exactly how they might negotiate or retaliate. But JP Morgan tonight out with a note saying that if sustained, these tariffs could plunge the U.S. and the world into recession. Lindsay?
Wow, some startling words there. Okay, Rebecca Jarvis, our thanks to you. Late today, the president departed the White House as the markets were plunging and said, "I think everything is going well," signaling he will stay the course. Here's our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce.
Tonight, President Trump sounding unbothered by the plunge on Wall Street after his sweeping tariffs upended the world economy.
I think it's going very well. It was an operation. I like when a patient gets operated on, and it's a big thing.
In the past, the president has acknowledged his tariffs could cause short-term pain to American consumers and businesses. But today, he only spoke of rosy times ahead.
The markets are going to boom, the stock is going to boom, the country is going to boom. And the rest of the world wants to see, is there any way they can make a deal?
But watching the markets dive today, the president's own former Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin saying he hopes there can be a deal to lift some of these tariffs, acknowledging the reality that fulfilling Trump's pledge to return manufacturing to the U.S. will take years.
I'm hopeful that those will be negotiated down, that those are tariffs that will bring people to the table and we'll negotiate them down. Now, for many businesses, it takes a while to move the manufacturing base.
Tonight on Air Force One, the president laying out a timetable.
How long will it take to get American manufacturing to where you would like to see it?
Well, let's say it's a 2-year process. They can build them fast, but they're still very big plants. So I'd always say it would take a year and a half to 2 years.
But he did not explain what would happen to alleviate pain in the interim, or acknowledge that American businesses will likely pay more to build products here than overseas, costs that economists warn will be passed on to consumers.
Not what American consumers want to hear. Mary Bruce joins us now from the White House. So, Mary, I know the president today did not acknowledge the potentially negative impacts of the tariffs. Are White House officials towing that line?
Yeah, Lindsay, the president all day not acknowledging the economic pain that these tariffs may cause, and White House officials all day long reiterating the same message when pressed on the potential for skyrocketing costs, telling Americans simply to have faith and trust the president, Lindsay.
All right, Mary Bruce for us from the White House. Thanks so much, Mary.
Thank you.
No doubt the tariffs will impact businesses of all types across the country if they haven't started already. Our Jacqueline went to Maryland to learn more about how some business owners and consumers are bracing themselves for the major changes ahead.
On this side, for example, we have dimensional lumber coming from Sweden and Norway. More of the white boxes is cedar fencing coming from China.
Right outside the Port of Baltimore is Greg Williams, who runs B&E Storage and Transfer. They're essentially the middleman who receives products from all over the world in these shipping containers and then sends it to big box stores across the country on these semi-trucks.
Why is volume so important for your business?
So we base our square footage, the amount of trucks that we own, the amount of employees that we have on how much product we're going to be moving through here on a daily basis. And if that volume goes down, then obviously we don't need as many employees, we won't need as many trucks, we won't need as many forklifts.
Williams says he's bracing for the potential loss of international customers over tariffs. The Port of Baltimore handled a whopping $62 billion worth of cargo last year, one of the busiest ports in the nation. Its top imports: cars, wood, and construction materials.
Have you ever wondered how items end up on store shelves? It starts right here. They're unloaded off the cargo ships into a warehouse like this to be sent to a store near you. But if tariffs raise the price of that entire system, that means prices go up at checkout.
It just added a level of anxiety that I really wasn't in the mood for. Trying to buy a car.
Dealerships nationwide reporting a huge spike in car sales after President Trump's announcement of 25% tariffs on foreign cars and car parts.
Did this push up your car purchase sooner? It's possible that it might, because we
this is what I think. I'm glad you asked, man. Let me know somebody really watching and listening. So this is what I feel about President Trump, to be totally honest with you and very, very respectful on the matter. I like a person that do what they say they gonna do, right? A lot of us experience in our years of living, you know what I'm saying? If you live 25 years or more, if you live 30 years or more, God bless you with 30 years or more. So from the age of 30 to wherever God take you out at, right? We look at it like, hey, listen, man, we ain't really never seen nobody do what they say they gonna do, whether it's in our best interest or whether it's in the next best interest. I'm a person that like to see, like, damn, yo, kind of like that, bro. The man said that everybody that got locked up for June for doing that shit in January was getting out of jail if he ever get back in office. He did that. He said that he was going at all them companies that was taxing America and he was taxing them back. He did that. He said he was getting all the legal immigrants and he was covering the border soon as he get in there, no days off. He did that. He told people that was, following him on the campaign and supported his campaign, he was going to do certain shit. He's doing that. It's not his fault that we had Barack Obama for 8 years or we had Democrat presidents, because most people of color, we believe in the Democrat way of life. So, it's not his fault that they got in there and they did everything but what they told us they was going to do. Ain't his fault, bro. Ain't his fault. He's saying, listen, bro, I'm ready to go ahead, put these charges on it, ready to put the press on these dudes. Hey, you got to wait and see the outcome. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to happen overnight. It's going to happen. It started at the top of the year. We just in April. He started handling his business at the top of the year. Whether we like it or not, he's voted in office. And my true feeling is I can say one thing about him that you could say too. The boy, a man of his words. You know what I mean? A lot of us are uneducated on terror, uneducated on a lot of things that he's doing. So it's just a little crazy because you got people that don't know that you're just talking. Do I think everything that he's doing is right? No. Do I think everything that he's doing is wrong? No. I'm just one of them people that you just gotta wait to see. Because at the end of the day, what the fuck we gonna do? At the pause for a minute, what we gonna do? You know what I mean? We could cry, we could say this, then that, man. He got 4 more years. He got 4 years in office, man. And then the next president to get in there and try to make it be like he wanted to be, bro. That's all we gonna experience. You know what I mean? I don't know, bro. And anybody talking about doing some shit that ain't never been done in our life or before our life. President run for 3 terms. Like, come on, man. Like it ain't crazy. The man 78 years old. What he's gonna do with another term? He'll be 82 when he get out of office. We don't want no 82-year-old person running our country. Hell no. That ain't the way it go. Run his family, yeah, but his country, nah, man. That's a more half a 100 man thing. Man between the age of 40, 45 and older. You know what I mean? I think prepared for that. You get what I'm saying? So come on, man. Like you know what I mean? I think a president, 40 and over, I think you know what I mean, the president thing look good. But like, I don't know, bro. I don't really had nothing too much to say, bro. Like, it is what it is, bro. He handling his business for the people he told he's gonna handle his business for. What day we could agree with a man of his word, bro. Whether you like Donald Trump or not, he's a man of his word, bro. He's a man of his word, bro.
Probably don't need it for a few months, but we're actually considering whether we should pull the trigger sooner.
Chevy Chase Acura in Maryland seeing a 66% increase in sales in the last month. But dealer Sam Weaver admitting the tariffs will push up the price of new cars. Economists estimating as much as $10,000.
If that's what we're dealing with, we've dealt with a lot before, and we'll just take care of our customers the best way we can.
Weaver warns prices of used cars will also increase as more people try to find cheaper alternatives. And since car parts are often made abroad, the price of repairs will go up too.
Currently, in our state, the average age of a car is 12 years. That's the oldest it's ever been, and it's approaching 13.
So there could be an increase in need for service.
Yes, and that'll help from a car dealer standpoint, our service operation, that'll help that, as well as gas stations and independents that work on vehicles.
The overall feeling for small businesses across the area, focus on the work.
In business, we have to keep going. I mean, we can't just sit here and say, oh no, it's happening. If it happens, it happens. It's above me. Anything that I can do to change it. But we'll just continue to move on and switch gears.
Yeah, that's it, bro. That's it. That's it, bro. You can't say nothing else. There, boy. White boy said the best, man. Hey, listen, work, your business is business. Got to keep going. You can't keep playing. It ain't no laughing and joking. It ain't no faking, fake clutching. You know what I'm saying? It's just how it is. You know what I mean? So I get in the boy, yeah, man.
There may be trouble in paradise for Kanye West and his wife Bianca since speculation that he and his wife Bianca are no longer on the same page after 2 years of marriage in his song Bianca from his latest album WW3. In the single's lyrics published by Genius April 2nd, Kanye pleads for his now estranged wife to come back after his recent controversial social media posts. Ye raps, quote, "My baby, she ran away, but first she tried to get me committed. Not going to the hospital because I'm not sick. I just do not get it." He adds, "She's having a panic attack and she is not liking the way that I tweeted. Until Bianca's back, I stay up all night. I'm not going to sleep. I really don't know where she's at." Kanye's latest song comes nearly 2 weeks after he fueled breakup rumors with a cryptic message about heartbreak. He tweeted in part, quote, "When you look at that betrayal list, I realized that was just part of people's strategies. I took the word love to mean love when it really meant I love the opportunity." Ye continued, quote, "I make decisions from my heart and mind. So when my heart is broken, it breaks my mind too. That's why I drank Henny to go to the awards that night. Just too many slaps in the face." The runaway musician also fueled divorce rumors by wiping his Instagram and reportedly unfollowing Bianca. E! News has reached out to reps for Kanye and Bianca for comment and has not heard back.
Damn, yay. It got to be tired, bro. I should be by myself if I was in. I'd be by myself. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Even if it's about Charlie Cotton's new podcast, Big Down Under.
What would they say?
Come back.
It's crazy, yo. But
It's bizarre. I will say the beat is pretty good.
Yeah, the beat is pretty good.
I gotta listen
So
to the
if
song.
you can understand what he said. He was saying
He got
in his
better.
auto-tune voice. He said, "My baby, she ran away, but first she tried to get me committed. Not going to the hospital because I'm not sick. I just do not get it."
So this confirms what we have long speculated, that the two of them
Boy, yeah.
now
Boy, yeah, they ain't together, man. Yeah, let it go, Lee. You know what I mean?
those reports.
See, when you on the Kanye West tip, you gotta be by yourself. That's just only respectful, bro. Like, you can't run around fucking with nobody, bro, because nobody wants to be in that media ranch. When you on the tip that people don't want to be on, that's your wife, yo. She don't want to be on that tip, yo. You should have kept her out of it. Like, a couple award shows, a couple events, but all that rape and shit, bro, you don't want to put her in jeopardy like that and have her having hate mail. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do disagree with. Yeah, and gave my man, like I said, 80% of the shit, yeah, be talking, be 100% be 100% factual, and then you got that 20% where he go off the meat racket. So he got that 20% where he loses cool. And all of us, you know what I'm saying? Geniuses got a little artistic side to them. You know what I'm saying? They off a little bit. You get what I'm saying? And he's a genius and he's a billionaire. He's a real smart guy, but he goes off the meat racket sometimes. That 20% where you gotta be like, boy, I ain't fucking with you today, yeah. You tripping. You get what I'm saying? That's it. Other than that, yeah, my man, yo. But he goes on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not disagreeing with nobody in the world to say Kanye West get the doing the most. He get the doing the most for no reason, man. That's how Kanye is, man. That's what he doing, man. That's what he is. But his wife wants a divorce, man. And a new record. I'm gonna listen to the new record. I got to move around, man. I was running a little late this morning, but I got to tap in, so y'all will never miss me again, man. We on this run. 30 days and old, man. Run these numbers up, man. And listen, them interviews is coming back. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment, donate to the channel if you want to. Shout out to the Mod Squad, everybody that jumped in the chat this morning, man. I really appreciate you, man. Hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment. No fuck shit, no fake shit, no foolishness. Anything you say can and will be used against you on the internet. You got that right. Yes.